What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. And reserved for the best is super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comic. Check microphone. Check out what's good, everybody. Shout out to the C-List Villain podcast, my man Red in the building. What's good, brother? Yeah, man, this is the 6th element of hip hop. I am your host, Reno Noir, and the guy that just disappeared is my co-host, Stu Dog, and this is our female perspective. How you doing? Turn me up in my shits. Turn my shits up. Yeah, what's good, everybody? We have a lot to unpack today. We got a lot of news, a lot of current events, a lot of hip hop and comic book interesting things to talk about. But one of the major things I think in the it's a terrible, sad thing. There was some major shootings in New York City. Well, in New York, period. Buffalo for one. Stu Dog, what's good, brother?
What's good, man?
Yeah, this is the co-host Stu Dog having technical difficulties. But we are in the
we are currently experiencing Kansas-like quality storms heading this way to our area.
Wizard of Oz shit.
Yes, if I blow away and go to the land of Oz, you know where to find me.
Oh boy.
Right.
I even have my little dog here with me too. So.
And your little dog too?
Yes, my little dog too.
Your little dog too. Yeah, so we're just mentioning the two recent shootings. The shooting in the Brooklyn subway, I was getting confused with the shooting just happened, but the Brooklyn subway shooting happened on the 14th.
That was like a week or two ago.
Yeah, been a minute. But the mass shooting in Buffalo just happened, and I've got a video that I can't show because it is literally the shooter going through the supermarket with his, AR-15, and he's got his camera set up. His camera set up like it's a first-person shooter, like how you see them airsoft videos where they got the camera and then you see the tip of the gun. It looks like a first-person shooter video game, but you're seeing him really, putting people down and like walking over their bodies, putting more in their heads, like as he walks over. It's really, really gruesome. So obviously they won't be showing it on the news, and obviously I can't show it on here. But yeah, Stu, I'll send it to you. It's pretty graphic. My son, of all people.
Yeah, because I heard he streamed it live on Twitch.
He did
when he initially did it, and they said it was up for about 2 minutes.
Right.
And they took it down. Twitch took it down.
Right.
They took the stream down. It's listen, people. I don't get it. I really just don't. I really just don't get it. Like it's just like to stream something like that live for everybody to see. I don't see the significance in it. You're not a supervillain, and I know we do talk about comics here, but a supervillain wouldn't do that. A supervillain would have had a motive. He would have, he would have planned it, sold the movie rights, But you guys just randomly going out shooting people. What's good, Corey? It's not a good look. No, it really
is. Oh wait, what are you saying? C-list villains? Did you blur out the site? He has the N-word etched on it. Oh, on the
on the site. Yeah, on the gun site. Yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't notice that part, but
Oh boy.
Well, you can hear it.
Yeah, I figured somebody got the video. Somebody had to get it. But
yeah, I'm sure it was floating all over social media, especially after it was streamed.
What? It's written on his gun?
Yeah, it's written on the gun somewhere.
There is something written on the gun, but I can't make out what it is.
Yeah, because I know they said that Twitch did stream it for about 2 minutes. It did stream for about 2 minutes.
Right. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was an 18-year-old kid, man. I mean, this is. I hate to. And you know the liberals and those are gonna run with this, bro. Like, this is it. Like this. If this isn't their, big claim to, taking guns off, out of the street, but you have. It's just a failed argument because if you take the guns away and make the guns illegal, guess what? Only criminals have guns now. Because the legal people that are legally allowed to carry guns and licensed and can actually have open carry, concealed carry, these are official, quote unquote good guys. But it's not these licensed gun owners usually doing this stuff. You know what I mean? It's nuts and shit like that. And you take away the gun rights, well, you're just taking guns out of the hands of people that use them responsibly and have in the past saved lives when a crazed criminal has, opened fire on people. So it's a failed argument, but of course they're going to say video games are to blame, first person shooters, Call of Duty, airsoft, streaming game. It's all gonna. I can see it like a zenith. But the alleged gunman made disturbing statements describing his motive and state of mind following his arrest, the official said. And the statements were clear and filled with hate toward the black community. And it was a black neighborhood grocery store that he went in and shot up. It's definitely racially motivated. Investigators also uncovered other information from search warrants and other methods indicating that the alleged shooter was studying previous hate attacks and shootings. And the revelation comes a day after a gunman killed 10 people and wounded 3 others at the Tops Friendly Market store in a predominantly black neighborhood in Buffalo. 11 of the people who were shot were black, officials said. The victims range in age from 20 to 86, police said. And in Buffalo, police identified all 13 victims Sunday. Among them were a former police officer who tried to stop the shooter, an octogenarian mother of the city's former fire commissioner and long-term substitute teacher. 2 people remain hospitalized in stable condition, and a spokesman for Erie County Medical Center said Saturday night. The suspect was identified as Peyton S. Grendon, rifle-toting 18-year-old from Conklin, New York, who allegedly wrote a white supremacist manifesto online, traveled about 200 miles to the store and live streamed the attack. Why he traveled 200 miles, I don't know, but that's just what they said. Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia said the Sunday the attack was racist hate crime and will be prosecuted as such. He said, the evidence that we have uncovered so far makes no mistake that this is an absolute racist hate crime. It will be prosecuted as a hate crime. He said, this is someone who has hate in their heart, soul, and mind. I'm not overly interested, but I wonder what, Fox News has to say, how they're going to spin this and make it not racially motivated. They're going to say, what they do. You'll see it clear after they aimed at a white cashier. Oh, okay. Great replacement theory versus critical race theory is the argument too. Yeah, you know it. Reno and Stu, the awesome 2. Don't forget the always beautiful, awesome 1, Sada. And if YouTube is scared of getting erased from the human race, they need to. Oh, you said YT.
YouTube.
He's saying white.
YouTube is.
He's saying white.
He's saying white. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
when you put YT,
it's phonetic.
Mm-hmm.
Phonetic.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So if white is scared of getting erased from the human race, they need to keep sleeping with their white cousins instead of our beautiful colored women. Yeah.
I mean, that's a matter of opinion.
My wife is black. My kids are mixed, and they're half Italian, half black, and they're fucking gorgeous. And I wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah.
Well, you gotta understand something, man. We've been taught to America's built on hate, man. It was built on hate. It was built on separation. And that's just what it is. But we're past that now. I mean, I was watching the Ukraine war the other day, just covering, and the guy said it best. He said, "This is the 21st century. How are we even doing this? Like we've been through two world wars, Vietnam, Korea, you know what I mean, Panama. I mean, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Desert Fox. Like, you got to ask yourself a question. Has the human race learned their lesson? Because humans love to live in the past. They love to dwell on the past. They don't like to look forward into the future. And that's our problem. Because if a spaceship land, when I was in the Marine Corps, they used to always say if a spaceship land, now they're not gonna say, well, I'm gonna kill all the black people, I'm gonna kill all the whites, I'm gonna kill all Indians. They're gonna kill everybody on this planet because we're all part of the human race. So I don't, hate crimes and all of that. That's taught. You're taught that. Nobody's born to hate, but we're taught that.
Learned behavior.
Right. You learn that. And this kid probably learned that. Somebody filled it with the propaganda and the lies, and he believed that. And he was willing to go out and kill for it. You have some people that are willing to die for it.
And you have some people that have had a bad experience with a person that's a different race from them, whatever it may be. And then they lump the entire race into that bad experience, and then it's
we were just telling Matt, remember we were just telling Marshall 2 weeks ago. He's just like, Marshall, man, it's just I get where he's at, but like I was telling, like me and Sada were telling him, like, look, bro, like it's just different for us.
He'll just never understand, and that's nothing against him. He just
you gotta walk a mile in our you gotta walk a mile in our shoes, right? That's just it. You gotta walk a mile in our shoes to know. And remember that, you ever see that Saturday Night Live skit where Eddie Murphy did the thing where they made him up to be a white person?
Oh yeah.
And it was a skit. It was funny. It was super funny. But he was like, he went to the store and the guy gave him the newspaper. There was a black guy in the store, and then he was like, all right, guys, go. He's like, all right, take it. It's free. Go ahead. And he was like, oh shoot. And then he was on the bus, and the last black person got off the bus, and as soon as they got a disco ball dropped down, they all started partying. So he was just like, wow. He was like, it's a secret world out there. But I mean, man, as far as them taking away guns, man, they're not gonna take nobody's guns. Nobody's guns gonna get taken away. It's just like with abortion. If they take away abortion rights, you're gonna have people in back alleyways and closets with hangers doing all kind of trash to abort babies. So, you do more harm than good by taking it away, and you do more harm than
that's needed.
Right.
Not take away guns.
Right. Gun education. Teach people.
When they caught the shooter, he wasn't thrown to the ground. He was walked out. Nobody shot at him. Nothing like that. He actually exited the situation alive. Had that been anybody else, they would have been dead that day. So
well, not anybody. If it was a black man that went in a white grocery store and shot up a bunch of people, he would have been killed on the spot. No question. I mean, look what they do to black men who aren't even armed.
But you know what, Regina? It's the psychological effects of slavery. It's not just the psychological effects that affect black people. They affect African Americans. They affect white people as well, because they're taught that if we get out of line, this is what you need to do. They're taught that, just like we're taught certain things, and we live that. So it's like everybody has psychological effects of slavery that need to be, like you said, talked about, educated, remove those stereotypes, because at the end of the day, if the situation was reversed, everybody would feel the same way African Americans do, no matter what. So, just because it doesn't matter the color person's skin, if they're shooting people, you need to do what you got to do. I mean, they talked this man down. You know what I mean? Orlando Castillo, he was like, I'm reaching for my gun. I'm legally legal to carry a firearm. And first of all, you got to ask yourself a question: why do you have guns drawn on this man? Why do you have a gun drawn on this man for a traffic stop?
Exactly. Yeah. Already before his gun
before his gun even came out or anything. It's 4 cops there, and you got guns drawn on the man. Why he got his children and his girl in the car? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
It really makes no sense. It doesn't make sense unless you realize what it is, and like you said, it's slavery. It's society planting fear in the white community that black people are dangerous or some sort of a threat. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing with the clutching of the purse and all of that. Like it's something that was taught. Like you said, it's taught. It's learned behavior. And just like it's taught and learned behavior, it can be untaught and unlearned, because you have, I said it before, in instances where these, skinhead, like super racist people, they've never really had major life experiences with anyone of color. They've never actually hung out with a person of color. They've never had a conversation with a person of color. And there was this case, this black man who went to the KKK, like Klan meetings and all of that. Like he was just like steady going there, interviewing them. And they're like, it was like a whole other documentary about it and the whole thing. And he said that he was sitting there in the bar or something, and it was one of these white supremacists sat there, and he told him, he said, you know what? He said, you're a really good dude. And like, I never knew a black guy. And he renounced the KKK. He renounced it, burned his robes and the whole shit, and is learning to become a normal human being, basically. And so it just goes to show that if it's learned, it can be unlearned.
It can be unlearned. Yeah.
The fact that it can be unlearned and the fact that it can be learned proves also that it's bullshit, right? Why they sweating Eric Garner for selling loose cigarettes? I mean, come on, like no, there's no excuse.
It's true, right? It is.
There's always been racist people, but it became more common when Donnie got.
Yeah, they became more.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. My father,
he gave him the dog whistle,
Yeah, yeah. My father said that. My father said that to me one day, and we weren't even talking about it. Like Donald Trump came up on the news, and we would just watch whatever excerpt that they had. And he said, son, I've been around a long time, man. He said, but I'm gonna keep it real. He said, this is the most bold and blatant that I've ever seen white people in my life. He was like, we know that. He said, we know they've always been racist. They always did.
And how old is he?
Always did whatever. In the 70s. And he said, son, he said, listen, he said, I've never seen them. He said, when Donald Trump got elected, he said they just went wild.
Civil rights, like he was around.
Civil rights, yeah. He said it wasn't even. Yeah. He said it wasn't even that bold during civil rights. Like he was like, it's just outright, like it's just wide open.
Because Trump and Fox News and all of that whole nationalist, that whole thing is emboldening him and making them think that that they can get away with it. And how about all the shootings? Like people can literally shoot unarmed black men and go scot-free. That teaches them that they're right. It teaches them that it's okay, that they can get away with it, whatever the fuck. But it's a lot has changed since that division, and white people are saying the quiet parts out loud now. Exactly.
Yeah, my father said that. My father told me, he was like, son, I've never seen him this blatantly disrespectful, just out in the open. Like he said before, it was, he said they always just had dog whistles, or they always just was like, it was kind of undercover, but you knew it was there. But he said, but for them to just be as blatant as they are in the open with the way it comes, he said, it's sad. He was like, it's just, he said, I've never seen it like this. He said, this is the worst I've ever seen it. And like you said, he was alive during civil rights. He was young during civil rights, and that's just crazy. He was telling me about the riots in Newark and all of that, things like that. He was telling me about all that. He was like, son, that's
right.
He said they tore the place up.
Yep. They that they did a whole thing about that on the Sopranos spinoff movie. It was all about the Jersey riots and all of that. Racial motivated. But yeah, man, the suspect what's his little name? He's under John Garcia. Oh, Gendron. He's under suicide watch. Fucking let him kill himself. But the thing is, and
that is inhumane. Cannot.
no, and the thing is though, I know, I'm sorry, but had they killed him, had they shot him, gunned him down, then they wouldn't get justice. They wouldn't get to do the trial and the whole thing and have him, take responsibility. And if he kills himself, then they won't be able to do that. And the families want. But
well, clearly they want to determine if he has any mental instabilities. And if that's the case, right? Yeah. If that's the case, he's not in his right mind, because anybody in their right mind is not going to kill themselves.
Well, and right, but at trial,
somebody that's guilty, will also off themselves.
Well, if he goes to trial, and anything but the book gets thrown at him. I mean, anything less than straight up, first degree, premeditated, like just the worst sentence possible is gonna be I see a problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way he can get away with this, bro.
I mean,
and it'd be okay. I'm not saying he can't get away with it. No. I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying and it'd be okay.
Yeah.
There's no way that he can get away with this and it'd be okay. But there's damn sure a way he can get away with it. It's called the U.S. justice system that works, mostly for white people. Let me see what Corey talking about.
Yeah.
If the leader wouldn't get away with it, white people. Right. Exactly.
Pretty much.
Sada, as a black woman, do you feel unsafe sometimes because black women are attacked by white men as well?
Yeah, I mean, I feel unsafe, if I go out, with my friends or whatever. And it doesn't just apply to just white men. It applies to everyone. I feel unsafe. Yes. I always have my guard up because you can't really trust anybody out here. Yeah. So
regardless of race.
Yeah. So it doesn't just apply to white men, at least for me. I'm unsafe, period. I feel unsafe, period. So yeah,
as a woman, period.
Yeah.
Well, look at all the things we had with women that happened when Trump was in office. Where you had the one black woman, she got pulled over in her car with her kids, and the police wanted her to get out the car. She was on a road by herself, like it was a desolate road, and she was asking like, "Yo, like, why you want me to get out of the car?" Like, and she got nervous, like any woman should. And she didn't want to get out the car. She just was like, "Why can't you just take my stuff?" They tried to pull her out the car. She rolled the window up, and then the other cop broke the window on the other side, and it was like they attacked her. And then she pulled off, and then they chased her.
She pulled off. She was supposed to.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. And that video is on YouTube. You can check that out fully on YouTube.
Yeah. It reminded me of in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I am from. We had a riot because we witnessed some shit. Lived in a black neighborhood, and so we were standing at the rib shack getting some food, and there's a stoplight right there, and this kid we know pulled up to the light, and the cop stopped him and tried to get up, and he was like, he had his hands out of the window like this, like his hands were up, but he hadn't turned the car off, and the cop pulled his gun out. He's pointing the gun at him, and he's telling him, turn the car off. And he's like, well, I can't. I don't want to take my hands, you know what I'm saying, from you seeing my hands and shit. And the car's kind of rolling a little bit slow at the lights, kind of rolling and kind of joking with the cop. He's like, hey, hey, you told me not to move, that kind of shit, just fucking with him. And the female cop that was with him is standing towards the back window, and she busts it with her stick, busts the back window. And I guess her doing that, the cop just started fucking unloading and just shot the guy dead. And that, based on that, yeah, we rioted, bro. that whole night. Helicopters came out. They were shooting at the helicopter, burning buildings down. It got real crazy. I wrote about that in that book, Stu, that I sent you the manuscript. But yeah,
it does sound familiar. Well, they say we fiction is
stranger than fiction. I'm like, yeah.
Fiction is part life. Fiction is part life.
No, I've never had a Karen situation. No. Probably because of where I grew up, but yeah, I've never had a Karen situation. Never say never, though. Unfortunately, so
it ain't possible. Yeah, I don't know how many Karen situations I've seen. But yeah,
have you ever had a Karen? Have you ever had a Karen situation?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Plenty.
Have you ever had one, Stu Dog?
I don't get out much. So I'm sorry. I'm like Michael Jordan. I stay to myself. I built a basketball court in the back of my house, so I don't have to go anywhere. I built the chickens. I built my own fried chicken store, so I had to go out and get chicken or anything like that. So everything is on my property. Everything is just my property. I don't have to go anywhere and get anything. I'm just here.
Convenient. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah. That's how you gotta be. That's how you gotta be.
How you gotta be.
Nah, I've never had that type of situation.
Yeah, Fox News is saying officials said during a press conference on Saturday they believe the shooting was racially motivated and pointed to roughly 180-page manifesto that the shooter wrote and posted before allegedly shooting a total of 13 people. The manifesto included a plan for the attack, and Gendron wrote in the manifesto that he identifies as a white supremacist, stating that he fears white people are in the process of being replaced by other races. 11 of the victims in the attack are black, and 2 of them are white, according to authorities. Gendron was first charged with first-degree murder and pleaded not guilty in front of a judge on Saturday evening. How are you going to plead not guilty?
Well, they got to.
You got to
PD. You got PD. Yeah, PD.
Yeah, you got to.
Everybody plead not guilty.
But yeah, I mean, you hear that shit about the, our white race is being erased or whatever the hell. You know what? I believe that at some point in the future, everybody's going to be brown. It's inevitable. It's just inevitable. Everybody is going to be brown in some shade because, yeah, you see all the races are mixing now, and it's just going to get better and better. And you can look. There's a statistical. You can statistically see the percentage of white population shrinking, and then there's actually projections that I think by 2080 there will be no white people in the country. Like 2050 there's going to be there'll be the super minority, like less than 10%, something crazy. And it's all scientific. This is not like a biased thing. It's just a statistical fact. So yeah, it's true. And cool. That's what's up.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you want to break it down, I mean, let's be and talk logic. In America, we've all mixed. There aren't. When you see Klan members, you have to understand something about the Klan. You have to be Anglo-Saxon white Protestant. So if you're German and Irish, you're not a purebred. If you're mixed with anything other than what a purebred is supposed to be, you're not a purebred. So we all know that Italians are minorities, right? We know that African Americans are minorities. We know that Irish minorities, right? So we know this. So the only people that aren't really minorities are people that are purebreds that came from England, the Anglo-Saxon white Protestants. Mm-hmm. So if you're in America, you sitting there and you hollering, and then they try to clean up and say, well, neo-Nazi, we're neo-Nazi. But you can't be neo-Nazi because you're not from the Aryan race. So you can't be the new Nazi race. I mean, because you're still not a pure blood. You're still not a pure blood. So you can't be mixed with anything and claim to be superior to anything else. If you're mixed, you're a hybrid, and that's just what it is. You're a hybrid version of that human that you claim to be. But me, I don't understand how it is because we all. I mean, we're all. Yeah. Yeah, they want to stay pure white. So, I mean, listen, it doesn't make a difference because even if you try to stay pure, yeah, like I said, if your mother's Irish and your dad's German, or your grandfather was Irish and your grandmother was, I don't know, a Spaniard, you're still not a pure blood.
Some shit.
Yeah, you still not right. You still ain't a pure blood. It has to be all the way down the line. Can't be no mixing in there nowhere.
Yeah.
And since there is,
which there is, so yeah.
There is, so you can't really say.
Ain't none of them
can't
pure.
really say, all right, you can't really say you pure.
Oh, but they'll lie. They'll lie to themselves.
They'll lie, yeah. Right. I have seen the pure bloods. They're not the perfect race. They're not. Not by a long shot. On to something a little less. I don't know. Let's talk about Ghostface. Ghostface Killer is just opened a what do you call it? Coffee shop, cafe. Yeah, he cuts ribbons at his New York coffee shop. Yeah, with Mayor Adams. He Wu-Tang Clan's Ghostface Killer, Dennis Coles celebrated the launch of Killer Coffee Shop in West Brighton, along with community members and elected officials on Monday. After more than a year of exclusively selling their artisanal ground coffee online, co-owners Ghostface, Ross Filler, and Sean Wiggs decided to plant roots, opening the company's flagship store on Staten Island. Although the store isn't officially open for business yet, the shop owners and public officials held the ribbon cutting on Monday. Ghost received a proclamation from the Mayor Adams and a citation from Representative Nicole Malatakis, thanking the Wu-Tang member for his contribution to music and congratulating Killer Coffee Shop's grand opening. Adams commended Coles for giving back to his community, describing him as an institution and an inspiration. He said, the mayor said, there's so many people coming out here seeing a performer, a young person who grew up here, who lived in public housing and who went to public school is now able to have a business out here, just coming back to the community. That's what it's all about. So we just want to say thank you for reinvesting, said the mayor. And yeah, that's real. That's real.
Cool. Wow.
Hell yeah. Shit, Stu, you might be able to go over there.
My way, bro.
Give a review.
I don't drink coffee, but guess what? I will that day.
No.
Yeah, it Wiggs Ghostface saying that he felt grateful and humbled. I love each and every one of y'all for coming. God bless. And when asked about the significance for Staten Island, Wiggs said it means more culture and more flavor and more attention for Staten Island, because that's exactly what Wu-Tang and Ghostface and everybody's been bringing. But you guys can get Killer Coffee Beans. Co-owner Filler said the shop is not officially open to the public yet, but stay tuned. In the meantime, the company's 4 flavors, vanilla, dark supreme roast, marvelous medium roast, and marble cake can be purchased on the company's website. Yeah, if it's dripping like it's marble cake, like it'd be blue and cream, coffee and cream. Marble
cake is so good.
Ghostface,
so good.
Listen, Ghostface is steady, man. He got his own website, when he sells, his merchandise. I mean, you can never get it because it's always sold out. I've been trying to get an Iron Man shirt.
That shit stays sold out.
It stay right. Even when you get on there and then and then when you do find it and it's on there, it's not the colors that you want. Or, Ghost needs to.
Mhm.
If it was me and I was Ghost and I knew it was popping like that, I'd have it stopped. It just be
Oh
straight
yeah.
stop. Come on, man. But
Oh yeah. Slade, Reno, being in a mixed relationship, have you ever caught flack for it? I mean, what's the definition of caught flack? Like, of course, it's always you get looks and people act a certain way, and you get it in both communities because, like I said, I've always lived in the black community, and so yeah, it's different. It's like we get shit from the black community too, but it's not like the white community. Like the white community is way worse with it. Just in my experience, um, most black people in my experience have always been very accepting of it, of me, of us, um, and it could have something to do with knowing me for who I am. But like people that don't know us, it's different. But I mean, it is what it is. Back in the '90s, it's called Jungle Fever. Reno, have you ever been condemned for Jungle Fever, and did you go see the movie as a mixed couple? Well, we got together in 1999, so that movie was not in the theater. But yeah, we talked with Very Sweet as
Chuck
Juice.
in basement. Yo, man.
Tata, do you date? Do you date other races?
I would be open to it. Yeah. Yeah, I would be open to it for sure. Currently, no, I don't.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, I
That's all
would
that matters.
definitely be open to it.
I don't like people when they say, well, listen, there's a lot of white girls I know that they said, I only date black guys. I won't date white guys or whatever it is. And it's like, that's so ignorant. Like, why would you deprive yourself of a whole race of people? I mean, for me, anyways, that's the way I look at it. I don't care what race. Beautiful woman's beautiful woman. It's beautiful Asian women. It's beautiful white women. It's beautiful black women. Beautiful Latino women. It's beautiful women from every race and every culture. There's not one race or culture that doesn't have beautiful women. And I'm sure for a woman, it goes the same way. But,
I mean,
you
yeah,
can
I
have a
think I like,
preference, I
I
guess.
get what you're saying. Yeah. I think for me, I would be less likely to date a white guy. I just feel like, but that's based on who I've been around and how I grew up. But I mean, I'm
You'd
not
probably be less
completely,
likely to meet a white guy that you would
yeah,
have shit in common with him. And that's
yeah.
the thing. Yeah.
So,
Because, yeah, you got to have something in common with the person. You got to have something. And it's not like, like, well, for me, and this is like, I never went out to specifically find a black woman. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't like, okay, my goal is I've just dated every race. It's staggered. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have I don't stick to one race. It doesn't, I just don't see it like that. Like, if I meet you and we talk and we have a good connection, that's all that matters, man. Sada, how would you present another race to your parents? And would you be scared? What's Grab gonna say?
um, ah, if it's a white guy, I'd probably be
let
a
me sit
little
up for that.
nervous. Definitely.
Yeah, let me sit up for that
If
one.
it's
Yeah.
a white guy, I'd probably be nervous of like what my parents would say. Definitely my dad. But if it's not a white guy, no, I wouldn't be nearly as nervous. No.
Like if
So,
it was an Asian guy
so I'd be
or
confident in the relationship. So,
yeah,
and if we're gonna get to that stage of meeting my parents, then he's fact checked. He's good to go. And if
right.
not, that'll be the last day that we're together. So,
And your parents probably like you said, like they know if you bring in this guy, then he must be a good dude because
yeah.
you've been with him this long and you're bringing him to meet us, so you must see something in him. And hopefully they trust you enough to know that you're not gonna bring no fool around. You know,
Exactly.
yeah.
Doing no mess around. Doing the mess around. Yeah.
Mess around.
Yeah, mess
Yeah.
around. I mean, look, back in the day when me and Reno were younger, that's what it was. Like it basically everybody stuck to their own neighborhoods, and the neighborhoods were predominantly white or black with a sprinkle of something in it.
Right.
But now it's not like that. I mean, you can go through the neighborhood, you're going to see there's no more sprinkles. I mean, it's kind of a lot of neighborhoods are mixed like right now, you know, and that's just what it is. Like, going to school. My kids going to school now. I had a party for them one time, and I
I
was
can
telling my
answer
wife.
that.
I was like, look, I was like, remember when we were younger? I said this would have been all African Americans, but my kids they had white, black,
Mm-hmm.
even had an Asian friend. They even had an Asian kid out there. Like they had
Right.
Spanish, they had everything. Like it was just not one. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it just wasn't a group of black people or African
Right. Right.
Americans over there having a party. It was everybody. Like,
That was your
and
kids had a party in your house?
yeah, anywhere. If we ever had a party with, I don't care. Like we had Chuck E. Cheese, we went to Great Adventures. I don't care wherever we
Right.
had a party for them. It will always be like that. Like it wasn't just like when I was a kid, it would have just been a group of African Americans, and we were having a party for my son or whoever. But you rewind that 20 years later, it's mixed.
Right.
I mean, it's
Right.
everybody and their parents, and we all just sitting there chopping it up, getting along, talking, and
Yeah.
everybody comes and we all just,
Yeah,
and
it's a
that's
new
how it is now.
generation. Yeah, that's one of the
Right.
great
That's
things
how it
about
is
the
now.
new generation. Yeah, they it's not like it was, man. It's not as bad, it's not as polarizing as it was. And if my son brought home a gothic girl, he kind of already has. He didn't bring her home, but he showed me the pictures and stuff, and um, it's like if like I was just saying about Sada's parents, I trust him unconditionally. I know he's got a good head on his shoulders. I've taught him well. I've raised him well. I know he's not gonna do nothing that I would. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, whoever he brings, I know him, and so therefore I'm gonna, love and respect whoever he brings. And yeah, Virginia. Something interesting about Virginia that I watched before I moved here, and I've only lived in Virginia like 9 years, but um yeah, there's a documentary called A Loving Couple, and it's about this white man whose last name happens to be Loving and a black woman, and they married, and this is back in like the 60s, and it was like the first interracial marriage in either the country or Virginia or something, and they did some, like, the cops would literally take them out of the house, like go, remove one of them, and like they had to sneak, ride in the trunk to sneak back in the neighbor, like crazy shit, bro. Like, and they got kicked out,
Yeah, I
like they
saw
even
that.
got arrested. You see this? Yeah.
Because I know in
So yeah,
Virginia was a law. In Virginia, even after I think it was after civil rights and during civil rights, it wasn't it wasn't against the law to marry outside your race or anything like that, except for in Virginia. I mean, you
yeah,
caught flack for it, you might got a brick through your window, a cross burnt on your
right,
lawn, but
right,
it wasn't illegal. But in Virginia, it was illegal to marry outside of your race. And until that law got abolished, you're right. They were under a lot of scrutiny for it, man. I think because at one point didn't they moved out of Virginia and then they came back
right.
and they were still catching flack for it. But
Hmm.
they had to go to court. They had to go to court and everything.
Yeah, it was a whole
I was
court
like,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, it
Just
was crazy.
to
I
get
was like,
married.
man,
And dating someone with opposite political views,
yeah,
that's hard.
I
That's
don't think I
yeah,
could do that.
yeah, that
I
is
don't think I
hard,
could do
bro.
that.
That's just hard. Yeah, and why do it to yourself?
Yeah.
Basically, like,
Yeah.
yeah, you could. It's just gonna be a headache. I would
It only
advise
takes
you,
one argument, and that's it.
and that's gonna get crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey's been married to a different race 25 years. I live in Philly. I've had more problems with women than men. Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. I
Wow.
don't know. I don't know. If you marry black, that still doesn't give you a pass on using the N word. Are you just telling
Oh,
me
of
that?
course.
Just informing me? Yeah, no, definitely not. But the thing with that is, like I said, I grew up in a black neighborhood. I mean, since little kid, first my whole life, and still in a black neighborhood now. And as a young kid, all my friends were black. we said it. We said it to each other. They called me it. We talked it. We said it to each. It was just for me to had not said it. They would have looked at me like, "What's wrong? Like, why are you not saying it? You racist?" You kind of know what I'm saying. Like it was almost like the opposite. But as a kid, but never would I say it around anyone that I didn't grow up with, doesn't know me like a brother. And that's just out of respect. I mean, anytime I go around if I'm around any black person that I don't know or whatever it is, you would never say it. Never. It's just, yeah, it's just a respect thing. It's just disrespectful as fuck. Yeah, you just don't do that. Regardless of who you're married to or whatever it is. Yeah, my wife's black, my kids are mixed. That means nothing. How does that mean? Why would that give you a pass? Like, what if they weren't? If they're not there, you're still just a white guy. So do people know that when you know what I mean? Like, does that? Yeah, that goes without saying. That goes without saying, brother. Legal to have sex outside of your species, though.
You
mean like bestiality?
Yeah, that's probably what he means.
Would you date an ex-white supremacist, but you didn't find out until you hit skins?
Well, I would know before that point. Ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world I would know. That's a little bit ridiculous. Nah, no.
Would you? Well, Reno, would you?
Me? Would I do? What about you?
Would I?
That would never happen to me. That would never happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see how I could date. I don't see how I could.
It could, Reno. It could happen. You know.
You could. It could.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all right. Look. Remember we were watching. Peacemaker. He didn't know that the girl was a butterfly until it was too late.
True.
It could happen to you. It could happen to you the same way, Sada. Y'all could be in the bar, you know, and you could just.
I mean, if it were like a one-night stand.
Like you might not be looking. You might not be looking for Mr. Right, and you might not be looking for Mrs. Right. Y'all might be looking for Mr. and Mrs. Right now.
Right. No, yeah, and it could happen. Like he said, you don't find out till after you hit the skin. So I guess your question is, would you break up with someone if you'd been dating them and then found out that they used to be a white supremacist?
Yeah, it's a. What the question say? It's an ex.
I'd have to know. Yeah, I'd have to know like how far they've come. You know what I mean? Like,
I think I would still
be weird.
I would still cut the relationship. I mean, we could be associates, but the relationship, that's no more. I don't think I could do that.
But if you they said hit skins. But if you hit skins, it's a little too late if you hit skins. I mean,
but once you hit skins, you done hit skins. But are you gonna stay with the person? I guess is what he's asking.
Nah.
But if you getting dick,
I'm gonna just learn from it.
Would you stick around?
No,
I can put up with this. I can put up with this just for the time being. Yeah, but we can't talk about nothing political, and we definitely can't talk about history. You know what I mean?
No,
so,
right.
Damn. So I mean,
hey guys, can you guys
ignore the elephant in the room?
Yeah, exactly. Hold down for like 8 minutes. I'll be back. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I guess we could just ignore the elephant, like you know.
That's crazy. He said, I guess you can stick around, huh? I mean, some people might. I mean, listen.
Some people would. Some people would.
Some people might not have.
No.
Okay. Well, we're glad you not. You can't decide. We're glad you not. We don't want that for you. We a little older. We can go through something like that. We don't want you going through nothing like that.
Oh no, you shouldn't go through something like that. No, nobody should.
No. No, we don't want you going to no, we don't want you. We don't want you going through nothing like that. That's just too much.
Yeah, Corey. I don't know. Corey said, "What the hell?" I don't know. That's what the conversation evolved into.
Right. Quick question, Sada. What do you know about the Forever People?
The Forever People?
Yes.
I don't think I'm too familiar. It sounds familiar, but I don't. Mm-mm. You know what? Wait. I know. Wait. Oh, they were in Young Justice. They were in that one
Yes.
episode. Yeah. Okay, so I'm a little familiar with them. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you do know that okay, Highfather and Darkseid are brothers,
Right.
and that his son Orion, which is Highfather, is actually Darkseid's son,
Right.
and Scott Free is actually Highfather's son
Hmm.
because Calabec and Scott Free are half brothers,
Hmm.
and you know, being is that they are. Um, do you think that in the next movie we could get instead of Steppenwolf,
Hmm.
they can give us a movie where Calabec comes because he's actually a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, Caliban.
Like,
Oh yeah, Caliban's not a
yeah,
joke. Mm.
right. He's actually a force to be reckoned because they always say like Superman is it's hard to find somebody to fight Superman. It's hard to put somebody, but that would be a good battle to pit against Superman.
I agree. That'd be a nice starting point to get to Dark Side,
Yes,
Caliban,
yes, it would.
and then go from
Yes,
there. So,
yes, it would.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if he were like in another movie. I mean, I think it would be best maybe if it were, I don't know, maybe a Superman movie. I don't know. I just they don't want to bring back Henry Cavill, so I don't even know like what their plans are with Superman. So I guess he would work best in a Justice League film. I guess, even though they've already gone against Steppenwolf, they saw Dark Side, so I guess it could be more of a build up.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, we got next month is LGBTQ month, and DC is actually kicking it off with what is what we're talking about Saturday, Teen Justice, Earth
Oh yeah.
11. Harley Catwoman number 43 is
Mm.
teasing a kiss between Catwoman and Harley Quinn.
That
Um,
that makes sense. That makes sense. That actually
really?
makes sense. Yeah, because
Why?
Catwoman, I believe she was confirmed to be bisexual for a while. And I
Really?
don't know if it's the same for Harley Quinn, but Harley Quinn is so like wild. I could see it happening. So,
See
it's
her
like,
being bi.
yeah, I think, yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Or just like her kissing her just to do it. Like, yeah. So, I can see that happening. I think that makes more sense than whatever the hell they're doing with Teen Justice because that's just an original, and you're just
Whoa! Wait a minute.
no, we're not
How?
doing this again.
We did this Saturday.
No.
Okay, well, wait. But how? I mean, I get what they doing. Like, I really get it. Like, they're saying for
We get
LGBTQ
what they're
month, we're
doing
gonna
too.
just reverse. We're gonna reverse the roles. You know, give
Been
you
done
something
before.
different. Give you something different. Give you something that's never been seen before.
Well, that's what they're not doing. That's the complaint.
Right.
Come on, you gotta get with it.
Now, also in recent news too, there's been a lot of talk about Thundar the Barbarian. So I don't
Hmm.
expect you to remember Thundar
Really?
the Barbarian. Yeah, bro. Like
Yeah,
every time I click on Google, every time I get on YouTube, some guy even put up a video on YouTube explaining the origin of Thundar Barbarian, the sword, the whole post-apocalyptic world. I mean, Thundar the Barbarian was dope. I mean, I'm gonna keep
Oh
it a buck.
yeah.
I mean, it was kind of
Yeah.
sexist. It was kind of sexist too, but he's a barbarian, so I get it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, like with Ariel, he would always call a woman. He'd be like, "No, woman, I'll do this." And it was, but it's Thundar. He's a barbarian, and I
All
get
right.
it. But Thundar was dope, man. He had a sun sword. The Earth was thrown into an apocalyptic nature. Everything was mutated. He was just running around being a barbarian. He was just wild and off the hook, but he had morals.
Okay.
He had morals. But it's been a lot of talk about that. Would you like to see that come back as an updated cartoon with with updated animation and everything like that.
That would be cool. I would like to see anything, any of them 80s, 90s cartoons, well, mostly 80s cartoons, uh, if they're done right. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
not like what they did with Thundercats. That's atrocious. You know, like they
Wait,
did
which
they
one? The one from like
the one that
2010 or 11?
no, the one where it was like this kid and he remade the Thundercats on some like Teen Titans Go type shit. Like
Oh.
just goofy bullshit. But if they were to redo it, you know, dramatically or seriously or just, you know, with respect, then yeah, that would be super dope. Corey, I think it's July 26th, bro. I think it's coming. I think season 3 is July 26th. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Now we got August now. We know August and August too. We got Angel Mouse and Black Thought dropping an album together. I think I sent you the song. Danger Mouse is was my man because he remixed the Black album and made it better. I have to honestly say that's what he did. So him hooking up with Black Thought, he hooked up with MF Doom, and that was dope. I'm just, but the one he did with MF Doom, what was so original about it was he took all the sound bites from Adult Swim and made beats, and Doom rapped over them. I thought that was very creative. I thought that was very dope.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait to see what he puts out with Black Thought, because Black Thought is very underrated as a rapper, but nobody ever talks about him being in a top 5. He belongs in everybody's top 5 in my book.
I see a lot more people recently have been giving him his due, because industry people like MCs talk about Black Thought like he's, you know, the GOAT. So, and now with social media, we're starting to know what, you know, our favorite rappers or whoever is thinking and what they do and what their private life is like and what they think and what they listen to and what's their shit. And you know, so we're starting to see that Black Thought is respected so much by his peers. And so I think a lot more people are starting to put him in their top 5s than before. But you're right, man. He's severely underrated.
Oh God, I mean, Danger Mouse too as a DJ, yeah. Because Black Thought, when he did that 7-minute freestyle on Hot 97 or what, that was
Crazy.
That was ill. Like we were like, yo, like the way he just bought it. He bought it like nobody could. Like I was like, damn, that's Black Thought getting it in like that. I mean, after that, it's like you said, everybody started paying attention. I mean, I always thought he was dope. He also rocked it on the Fight the Power remix when they did the Fight Power remix. He tore it up on that too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, Black Thought, shout out to Black Thought, Danger Mouse. You know what I mean? I know that album's gonna be dope. And I can't wait. But we gotta wait till August. But I can wait.
Speaking of dope albums, that Meth Lab 3 is crazy.
Yeah, I gotta take my hat off to Meth, because Meth albums to me are usually hit or miss. I've never,
right.
And that's no disrespect, because I'm still a fan. But
they're hit or miss. He's not a hit or miss. He's not a hit or miss MC. It's hit or miss albums, hit or miss production. He's always the GOAT. But so he did Meth Lab 3. He's got tons of features from like KRS-One, Jada Kiss. I mean, it's full of the dopest MCs. I mean, you really got to give it up for this album, this production, the features, just the whole thing. You got to check it out. Meth Lab 3. I mean, it's phenomenal. And speaking of Meth, he also is bringing his new cannabis brand.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's known as being one of the forefathers of celebrating cannabis culture, and is bringing his marijuana brand to Michigan. The brand is called Takal, which stands for Taking Into Consideration All Lives, and the name of Method Man's first solo album, which will launch Tuesday. with an infused pre-rolled joint called Sweet Island Skunk in partnership with
Oh,
Rochester Hills based Glorious Cannabis Company. And Nathaniel Vereen, the co-founder of Takal, said in an email, Takal's approach and our message aligns with the diverse working class people of Michigan, the kind of people Method Man grew up with. Being that Michigan is the birthplace of Motown and Method Man's iconic influence in music, we believe it to be a perfect match. Takal will launch its initial product in 5 black-owned Detroit dispensaries, including Remedy, House of Zen, House of Mary Jane, West Coast Meds, and Viola. That was by design. Vereen said, "We know that African Americans of many of Michigan's diverse communities have had a very hard time entering the regulated Michigan market. About 3% of cannabis business owners in Michigan are black, according to a recent Michigan Cannabis Regulatory Agency survey of new licenses. And this is a reason why we need to continue our message of social equity to make sure black entrepreneurs are given a fair opportunity to operate in a space that has been built on injustice," pointing to a disproportionate impact the war on drugs. A movement started in the 1970s to combat illegal drugs had on black communities. Takal products will also be sold initially in the 8 House of Dank dispensaries selected for their commitment and community and social equity programs. Alexandria Weathersby, manager of medical marijuana dispensary House of Zen in Detroit, is thankful the brand wanted to put a spotlight on black-owned businesses. She said, "We are honored. It's amazing because of what the brand stands behind. Method Man is looking out for the smaller people. It's a tough industry for minorities in general." Glorious Cannabis Company, the marijuana producer and distributor, was looking to do something in diversity, equity, and inclusion space. Pete Truby, the company's vice president of marketing, was brainstorming ideas, and his colleague, a Method Man fan, approached him with the idea. He said, "In general, I'm not a fan of the whole celebrity thing in cannabis," Truby said, "but Takal just struck me as a little bit different. Method Man is not just your average celebrity in cannabis. He goes way, way back. He's been around forever, but he's still really relevant. You know, a lot of the celebrity cannabis things that he's talking about, you guys know, it's like celebrities will jump behind the cannabis market, use their face to sort of sell it or whatnot. But like what he's saying is real. Like Method Man has been a smoker like publicly since way before it was cool, way before it was legal. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been around in that space. And so like I would not see this as the typical, I don't see it as the typical celebrity with a cannabis thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it sounds like it's authentic. Sounds like
yeah.
there's authenticity to it compared to
Mhm.
other celebrities. They'll jump behind anything if it's a good look for them or it'll make them money. And it's like, no, nobody wants to buy that because 9 times out of 10, their products aren't even good anyways. So this one sounds
Right.
different.
Yeah, it definitely does. And still on the Wu-Tang vibe, we got the GZA shares why Wu-Tang is forever en route to the City Winery in DC. The year is 2022, and the writer just drove by a sign that reads Wu-Tang Forever, and you'll believe it when GZA performs at the City Winery in DC on Tuesday and Wednesday. I've mostly been doing this is the GZA speaking. I've mostly been doing Liquid Swords with the band, a couple of songs off the other projects, then some Wu stuff, and it's how we're gonna rock it. Born in 1966, Gary Grice, the future Jizza, grew up rhyming as a kid in Brooklyn. He said, my mother used to have these encyclopedias. I'd read these nursery rhymes, so I had a knack for it by the time I was introduced to hip hop. It's like Run DMC, Peter Piper, King Midas. I was told everything he touched turned to gold. By the time dude started going on the mic, I started formulating my own rhymes. I knew that was my calling. He often hung out with his cousins, Robert Diggs, RZA, and Russell Jones, ODB. He said, RZA following me emceeing, you look up to older relatives. I'm like 3.5 years older than him and dirty. Jizza said, as teenagers, RZA had a rhyme. As my mind flashed back to an eerie mood when I was just a sperm in a fallopian tube. He was 14. There's another part. When I'm in the womb, I'm a foreign object, like a stranger walking through the projects. He initially signed a solo record deal with Cold Chillin' Records to release Words from the Genius in 1991, which was his debut album under his first moniker, The Genius. He said that didn't work out, although it's greatly appreciated. It was the first deal I ever got. Somebody had faith and trust in me to give me a deal, so I'm still greatly appreciative. And after a short-lived 3-man group called Force of the Imperial Master, the trio of Jizza, RZA, and ODB expanded to form the Wu-Tang Clan, bringing in Method Man, Ghostface, Raekwon, Inspector Deck, You God, Master Killer for a 9-member rap supergroup. Jizza said, it was RZA's idea, and there's a dispute with other clan members about who started using the slang Wu-Tang first. I've heard several members go back and forth, but it was RZA's idea to form the group. Their debut album was an instant classic with Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers, featuring hits like Protect Your Neck and Cream. Most of all, Jizza said, most of that stuff was recorded in Staten Island in a place RZA was living in. What I remember from 36 Chambers, the vibe was really good. The energy was great. There was so much love with us brothers. A lot of late nights in the studio. There was a 24-hour Burger King or McDonald's. We get a lot of fish sandwiches and fries, 40 ounces, and a lot of weed. Their next album, Wu-Tang Forever, in 1994. That's wrong. That shit didn't come out in 94. Wu-Tang Forever came out in 97. Error. I know that because I was there the day it came out because I was the first one in line at the store when it opened. Earned a Grammy for Best Rap Album. We were a little more evolved, Jizza said. I think as men, we are definitely evolving into mature men. You get older, you get a little wiser. I don't think a lot of things changed as far as what each member's style was and how they delivered. The fire was still there. The chemistry was still there. It was a lot of fun. And then you guys know Jizza broke off to do his second solo album. This time, the successful Liquid Swords in 95, which featured a chilling title track with dialogue from the martial arts flick Shogun Assassin in 1980, as well as the hit single Shadow Boxing featuring Wu Cohort Method Man. What are you going to say, Stu?
No, I said, yeah, that was dope.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, man. I was like, hip hop can't get no better. Like, I mean, what can you do to top this?
Liquid Swords and the Purple Tape, bro. Those two albums, man.
Those two albums,
they really solidified it for me. Like 36 Chambers was crazy, right? But it was like, are they gonna be able to do this again? You know what I mean? Like, can this be repeated, or was this just a perfect storm? Kind of thing. But yeah, Purple Tape, man, and Liquid Swords solidified that shit. And that sample that when I was little, my father was the Shogun's decapitator. You know what I mean? Like that shit. And we had a video store that called Renaissance Video. Shout out to Renaissance Video in the 90s, a little cut video store. Like not a chain, right? Only one location. And it was all just obscure shit. And you could go in there with me and my homeboys would go in there with the box, and we would have the cassette tape in the box, and we would play that shit for him and be like, what movie is this? And he'll go get us the movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything from from Iron Man to Liquid Swords to the Purple Tape, like it was dope, man. We saw all the movies that the ones we hadn't already seen. But yeah, that was dope, man. That was one of the best ones, that Shogun Assassin. And you can also see them playing it. You can see him playing that shit in Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Kill Bill Volume 2.
Volume 2, yeah. Right. It was Liquid Swords, man. Like when they dropped those albums, because they dropped 36 Chambers and then dropped those solo albums like literally right after. So it was just like we was like over flooded with Wu-Tang for like 5 years, bro. Like it was, and then they came out with a second album, a Wu-Tang album. And we was like, dang, hold up. Just when you thought it was over, like we get more. Then they did another run of solo albums. So like I know Raekwon says, I watched the interview where Raekwon says that the worst thing that ever happened to them was that they came out with the solo albums. Like he was saying they should have waited. And he was saying like that was the worst thing that ever happened to the Wu. Yeah, he says it's the worst thing ever happened to the Wu. He attributes he makes the connotation to being like, look, like had we not been focusing on that, we could have been focusing on better. Like the Wu albums would have, y'all thought those was good. It would have been that much better had we not been focused on that. Like he was saying, he was just saying the timing was wrong. Like he was saying they should have put out at least a good 3 Wu albums and then knock the solo joints down.
Yeah, they ran right to the solo joints. That was like instantly. Yeah. But that's because it was 9 of them, and that one album they got like Method Man said he got like $1,000 or something crazy, and like $1,500, and so the deal was that we'll do this 9-guy group, RZA, if we can then go make our own money based off that fame, and that's what they did. It was genius. I don't know what Ray's talking about. I don't see how they could have done it any other way. They could have put out more Wu albums, but again, then it's 9 guys splitting that money. Now it wasn't the best thing for like the guys like You God and Master Killer and Inspector Deck who didn't get theirs out in that first wave, because then they got pushed to the back and seen as less important members. When in fact, we know that Inspector Deck was supposed to have the first solo album out because he was the illest one.
Yeah. So, yeah, but it just didn't go down that way. I mean, you know what?
His basement got flooded. And shit got destroyed.
Yeah. He said, Inspector Deck said he still got the masters for that, but he said he don't know if he can get it off of. He can get off of there, but he said he still got it. He said
they got destroyed in the water.
He said Method Man album was different. It was darker. He said to all of them it was better than what they put out. And but he said, that's what we got. But he said he got the masters. He said I still got the masters for that. He said I just don't. He said I don't know how to get it off of it.
No, he can't. Yeah. He can't. They're ruined.
Yeah, I don't think he can. But also, even if he could, I don't think he could anyway, because I don't think the technology back then was different. I don't think anybody has anything now remotely that you could even access it. If even let's just say he could. Let's say it could be said. Let's say he could get on there and get it. I don't think you got anything now that you can go on, because I think back then there were a lot of people recording on floppy disks. Because when DJ Premier does his joint,
Premier does his disc thing. Yeah, he's talking about the DAT discs. Yeah, he did. They were discs.
Yeah, they were discs. They
were floppy discs. Yeah,
they were floppy discs. Yeah, they were using that. Yeah. So I don't even think we can.
Yeah, Primo does it on his show. Primo,
but how old is that machine over?
No, I'm not saying that I'm not saying they're still making new machines that play floppies, but you obviously guys still have them.
I got a couple floppies with information on like music and stuff. I have no way to access it. Right? Yeah, I have no way to access it. But I just kept them.
Yeah, you have.
I just never threw them away. Right? I just never threw them away. I was just like, man,
Yeah,
who was known? We would have. Yeah, I should have copied them to CD, but I never did. Because you think that stuff's gonna be around. So
yeah.
But we got Inspector Deck doing. He's doing his thing with Czarface, and they just dropped Armageddon. Armageddon is dope.
Yes, sir.
Armageddon is just extraordinarily dope.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, Jizza, man, he said it was a great feeling. He said it was me striking back at my prior situation before Wu-Tang, where I didn't get the support I needed from that label. It felt good to go back and do a solo album that got the support, that got the help, that got all of the promotion that it needed, that put me in a different space. Because after the solo success, Jizza reunited with Wu-Tang for their third album, The W, in 2000, featuring songs like Gravel Pit and Protect Your Neck to Jump Off. Um, and Jizza said, from what I remember working on that album, it was just a great time in LA. We spent a lot of time. We spent a lot of time in this house on Mulholland Drive. There was a lot of chess playing, a lot of weed smoking during the day, a lot of writing rhymes, playing cards, spades, blackjack, whatever. Then the studio at night until the wee hours of the morning. Every step of the way, he and RZA. It does. It does. And
yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like time in your life. And RZA and Jizza always loved martial arts movies. Jizza said it started with Bruce Lee. Then, as we got a little older, you had others come out like Jackie Chan, Jet Li. He said Lee used to beat up everyone, but he was the protector of the innocent. As teenagers, we would go to 42nd Street, Times Square, where we watched 3 movies for $4. We'd be in there for like 6 hours cutting school. Can you imagine watching 6 hours of kung fu?
Man, for $4, come on.
Yeah,
I'd be in there. Listen, I would
$90 now.
Yeah,
all day. He said it only took a day for us to shoot that. Several hours, maybe 5, 6, 7 hours. Oh, talking about Jim Jarmusch's Coffee and Cigarettes. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
You ain't see that shit?
Nah, bro. I haven't. It's on my list.
RZA and Jizza got a part. They got a part in the movie, and with Bill Murray. They sit down with Bill Murray and chop it up with Bill Murray on some funny shit. But yeah, he said it only took us a day to shoot that, several hours, maybe 6, 5, 7 hours. He said the lines were simple. A lot of times we were improvising. Jim is such a cool dude, and Bill Murray, it was fun time hanging out with him and kicking it. And Jizza and RZA also did that Chappelle show, Wu-Tang Financial.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, the racial draft. And he said that was so much fun. He said David's a funny dude without even trying. He's not trying to make you laugh, even though he makes you laugh. His mind, the way he sees things, speaks on them and puts them into jokes and won't laugh about it and won't deliver it like it's supposed to be funny, but it's funny as hell. I wish I could.
Yeah. That is true. Dave Chappelle do that, right? He was like, huh?
Yeah.
But Dave Chappelle is just super funny, bro. Like,
bro,
I don't know, like he's just super duper funny, bro. Like, and like he said, it's like he ain't even trying to be funny, but it's just funny to watch him be. It's just funny to watch him do anything because it's just so funny.
Yeah, he's just funny. He's just naturally a funny dude. He's the GOAT to me. Like Eddie Murphy's always gonna be my favorite, but Dave, man, Dave is on another level, bro. But Eddie did the same shit. I mean, Dave did the same shit. Eddie did the same. They both did sketch shows. They both did stand up. I want to see Eddie come back, man, and do a stand up. I really do. I want to see him come out, but the thing, he's got to come out and just straight up be Eddie, bro, from like the Raw era. I don't want to see Dave Eddie, Nutty Professor Eddie, trying to keep it kosher for the kids, Eddie. We need Raw Eddie, and that would be crazy. He's afraid to do it. He said as much. Like, yeah, he's afraid to come out and do a stand up because he's afraid like that he's either that he don't have it no more, or like people won't love it, or just I don't know. He's just afraid that it won't be what.
I think his brother said it best. He's been out the game kind of long, so he would have to get his timing back. You know what I'm saying? He had to, Eddie had to come in there and, just basically, kind of start from. He had to start from scratch. Like he'd have to go back
he'd have to
down to
do
the
the club.
bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'd have to do the clubs and all that, and get his
Yeah.
timing and all that because he said he'd been out the game too long, and it ain't that he ain't funny. He just ain't been doing it.
He's been
doing movies and doing everything else right. He hasn't done stand up in a while.
What is y'all favorite kung fu flick?
Kid with the golden arms, hands down.
That's hot. I think I like 36 Chambers.
Iron Man. There's one I'm thinking of, and I can't remember the name.
I like
but
Five
my
Deadly
next
Venom.
I like IP Man. That one's really good.
Yeah, IP Man was hot.
That was super.
Like 36 Chambers is dope. I like because it's like they're doing the trials. They're going through all the chambers, doing the different, physical feats and all of that. That shit is really good. Anime wise though, you got to go with Ninja Scroll. Like
kung fu anime, yeah, that's
Ninja Scroll.
That's the hard one. Anime wise, it's too tough. Yeah,
me, bro,
it's too tough. Anime wise,
Ninja Scroll,
it's too tough.
Down.
Man.
Ninja Scroll, I don't even compare. It's no compare. I mean, but it's a lot, like you said, Stu. Though it's a lot. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of dope.
It's a lot for me when it comes to the anime. I mean, if you want to go live action, I could boom. But you say anime, because I've seen so much. Now, like, damn, some of this is, like I've seen some stuff from Naruto, Dragon Ball Z. I don't know, man. It's just a lot. It's too much for me.
Yeah, I'm watching.
I couldn't call just one.
I be watching anime now. Like I'm reading manga now. Chainsaw Man is crazy. You seen Chainsaw Man? Have you read Chainsaw Man, Sada?
No, I haven't. I haven't read about it. I've heard about it, but I haven't read it yet. I got to get back into manga because I've been kind of lacking. But I've been watching anime.
That's Chainsaw Man. That's Chainsaw Man.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's extremely good. It's super good. What up, Def Champ? Salute.
Yeah, Def Champ.
But yeah, man, we it's a lot of anime, but yeah, I'm watching some of the new stuff like My Hero Academia. That's my dude right there, Stain. Hero Killer Stain. What y'all know about Stain?
Yeah,
I don't know too much about Stain.
Enlighten us.
Right. What's going on with him?
Hero Killer Stain. See, he kills superheroes. That's his thing. He wants to kill all the superheroes because they're not pure. They do it for money, they do it for fame, and he thinks they're all fakers. But
that's an interesting concept.
The show itself is extremely interesting. My Hero Academia is about a kid that lives in a world where it's our world, but it's just that 80% of the population has what they call quirks, which are like mutant powers, like if you related it to Marvel. And it's definitely heavily inspired by the X-Men and that kind of shit, which is why I really love it. But everyone has their quirk or their mutation. It's like a power, and it'd be weird shit. It's just off the wall powers and weird shit. But there's this one kid that's born and he has no quirk. He's born without a quirk. He has no power or nothing. He's like one of the only people. And but he's like in his heart, he wants to still be a hero. Like because all people have these quirks, there's superheroes and there's supervillains. There's people that have their powers, and there's professional heroes like cops. They're not cops though. They're professional heroes, superheroes. They fight professional villains. And so he really wants to be a hero, and this is his It's called My Hero Academia because it's his education. Because there's high schools for people with quirks to uh, hone their powers or whatever it is, and become professional heroes. Like they got to go through college and all of that. And the kid don't have one, but this guy here, this is the big number one superhero in the world, All Might. You know, he's like, oh, I am here, kind of thing like that. And but he possesses a power that is handed down from generation to generation, and you could give it to someone who doesn't already have a power. And so he ends up, long story short, he gives the kid that power. And the kid, you know, the story is about how he becomes the next, you know, number one hero. But it's all about him, you know, growing up in that world. And so that dude, Stain, this guy right here, he's a villain. He's not really a villain. He's not down with the villains or the heroes. He would be a hero. Like he kills heroes because he thinks they're fake. They're faking it. So, but yeah, it's super well written and highly underrated and definitely misunderstood. Very good show. But I like it because I'm heavy into the X-Men and, you know, Marvel and mutant shit, stuff like that. So
how long is this show?
Oh shit, they're on like I think they're on season 5, I think, or 6. And then God, maybe it's shit, I don't know. I think it might be like 20 episodes in the season. Because anime seasons are heavy. Like a TV show series will have like 10 episodes. Anime will have like 30 in a season. But
that's
yeah,
true. That's true.
That's very true.
It's not so far along like One Piece or something that you would just be buried in episode. Like if you wanted to start from episode 1, you could do it and, you know, get through it. Actually, you know, it's not like a daunting task like some like Dragon Ball or something like that, where you got hundreds of episodes that you'd have to watch to catch up.
Yeah,
it's new enough that you could. And then Chainsaw Man is building huge like you said, you've heard of it. That's crazy to have a manga that has not yet been an anime and for it to have this much popularity.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I just never read it. I never.
Yeah. Because
that means Netflix is on their way to snatch it up. That's all that means.
It's already been optioned by a company called Mappa. They do Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know if you heard of that one. But yeah, they're an amazing animation studio. Like really beyond like the average anime show. So it's gonna be dope. But yeah, they're already making it. There's already a trailer out for it. This shit looks crazy.
Oh my goodness. I was rewatching.
Oh.
What?
You was watching what?
Oh. No, I was saying I started rewatching the X-Men anime a couple days ago, actually. Ooh, that's actually really good. I'm rewatching all the Marvel anime, but I'm starting with X-Men.
Dude, it's so good. It's so
good.
good.
Which one you watching? The 90s one side or?
No. The anime that came out in like
the anime.
Yeah, it came out in 2011. Yeah.
Good.
I think
it took me a
there's a Wolverine.
There's a Blade. There's a Wolverine. Yeah.
The X-Men, and I want to. I think that's it. I want to say there's another, but those are the three that I know. Yeah, the Iron Man one. That one's really good too. And the movie he had, the Technovore, super good also.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anime Marvel does kind of well. They do kind of well for themselves.
That's
I don't know
weird.
what it is.
Yeah, that's a weird phenomenon considering like
not as good as DC. But they do
DC, I don't know what anime do they have that's really good.
They have the
Ninja is not that good.
Shanghai short. They have Batman Ninja.
Right. Yeah, Batman Ninja was kind of.
It was like
it's kind of hit and miss. Yeah, it's kind of.
It was cool in some parts, but it was really ridiculous.
It was a cool idea, but the execution wasn't that great.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And then the newest one, Catwoman Hunted, I think that's considered like an anime. I can't think of any.
I thought Catwoman Hunter was all right. I just thought it was kind of just the one-liners, the cheesy one-liners. Like, I didn't. That's what I didn't like about it. But as far as like, man, look, the villain cast in that movie was just
that was kind of crazy. They had I didn't know some of them in there, but you know,
like it was dope. Like I was like, yo, like Solomon Grundy. Like I was like, yo. Catwoman got to fight Solomon Grundy like that, bro. That blew me away.
Y'all want to see the trailer for Chainsaw Man?
Okay, yeah, let's see the trailer.
Yeah.
Right, this is the trailer for Chainsaw Man upcoming anime.
Okay, that looks incredible. That looks awesome. Oh, I love the gore. Oh, that looks so good.
It really, that's amazing. And obviously, if you're reading the manga, you know a little bit more about what they showed there. 10. But
that looks good.
Stu, I got the.
Now, where's that coming to? Now, where's that coming to? Is that coming to Netflix, or are we getting that on?
That's gonna be on probably like Funimation or Crunchyroll.
Okay.
You know, one of the anime sites. It may get on Netflix. Yeah, very well could.
Because I'm like, man, that looks dope.
Okay, it says Crunchyroll.
Oh, Crunchyroll?
Yeah, it's gonna be on Crunchyroll.
Man, where I'm gonna get it. I ain't even gotta worry about it.
What up, Lito's Way? Yeah, man, we're talking anime.
Where's that?
We doing hip hop, comics, anime, all of that.
I like that Wally West you got there, Reno.
Yeah, that Wally West.
Yes.
It's weird though. They give
so
he comes with all this weird like lightning bolts, and they go up and down, and it's weird. I don't know, and they go in the dark too. But yeah, he's got this one under his foot. He gave you some for his
the foot one is sick.
Hell yeah.
The foot one is sick, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you found that at Walmart. Okay.
You already know.
So you just gotta look a little harder at your Walmart.
Side of my Walmart. Out. My Walmart looked like after Black Friday sale all the time.
Oh,
especially the toilet department.
Bare shelves and stuff.
Yeah, it just be anything that's in there is stuff people didn't want. You know what I mean? It's just stuff people. You go in there, you go back 2 weeks later, that same stuff sitting there. It seems like they got nothing new.
Right. Yep. Because you gotta go when they first drop that shit and first put them on the shelves. Otherwise, you
miss out.
Yeah, you're never gonna.
I'm gonna be real. Besides Snake Eyes the movie, I haven't seen any G.I. Joe classifieds in Walmart. The only ones I ever seen is Snake Eyes the movie.
Wow.
I've never seen.
Yeah.
I've never physically, literally seen any other ones in Walmart.
They swiping them.
Yeah, like bro, like it's just. I mean, I would be amazed if I ever just saw just one, but I've never saw just. It's like they don't exist for me.
Oof.
But to answer your question, Slade, Dr. Stasis is a mutant who I guess is gonna be Captain Krakoa right now. Like Captain America, but Captain Krakoa. If you're reading the comics, then you know that all the mutants now live on the island of Krakoa, a living mutant island, and they live on it, and only mutants can get to it. There's portals that they make that they can only go in, and they've become a sovereign nation in the world. All the world governments, the UN, everybody signed off on them being a sovereign nation because their mutant island produces vegetation that has allowed them to make 3 major pharmaceuticals. That one of them cures cancer, one of them cures all mental illness, and one of them like extends life or some shit. So they're like pills that, pharmaceuticals that the governments of the world could not resist and can only get if they do what the mutants wanted them to do, which was make them a sovereign nation. Now that that's explained, Dr. Stasis was in he's like a patriotic, Captain America kind of guy. He was in X-Men #1 and #2, but they promised a brand new superhero character for December's X-Men #6, Captain Krakoa. Right, he's going to be a patriotic Marvel hero for this nation state of mutants, just as Captain America and Captain Britain. And whoever this white, handsome fellow is, he seems to be sprouting a little Krakoan flora. Let me see if I can show you guys a picture of him. Okay, it's going to make me do a screenshot because it's not a JPEG. Bing, bang, boom. Click, clack, click. And yeah, so he's that guy that is going to be Captain Krakoa. And this is what he looks like. Any second now. There he is. So there he is, standing all proud and patriotic.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got them.
I don't know if I like the colors on that suit, but
I agree. Yeah, the colors aren't very. Yeah, they got the 2 different blue greens, and then the red is clashing with it's just clashing all over the place. Too many colors. A suit should be 3 colors at most. Yeah.
And at least have them work together. I mean, okay, come on.
Yeah, right.
I read an article the other day. Vin Diesel had put out some images of Riddick 4. But my question is, how long ago did Riddick 3 come out that we even care about a Riddick 4? I'm keeping it a buck.
I think in his mind,
Riddick 3?
Riddick is on the same level as Fast and Furious, so the audience is just going to care automatically. And that's just not really the case with Riddick, so I don't know.
Riddick, I guess, has a cult following. I love Riddick. Was a big fan of it before he was, doing that whole Fast and Furious shit. But I just love Riddick as a character. I'm not necessarily a Vin Diesel fan. I'm just a fan of the character Riddick, mainly because of the anime. There's an anime version.
Yeah, there was.
And a video game. And they had a video game.
Yep. Yeah. And a video game. But so there was Riddick. Well, first there was Pitch Black. That's the first movie. It's called Pitch Black. Yeah, and then there's Chronicles of Riddick. And what's the third one?
Riddick stole the sunshine.
Is it?
Nah, that's not what it is. I think it's Riddick something.
Looks like the last Riddick movie came out in
Oh, it's just called.
2013.
Yeah, it's just called Riddick. That's right. So
Is
there's
it?
Pitch
Yeah.
Black, Chronicles of Riddick, and then Riddick in 2013. Yeah, which
Oof.
was not bad at all. Like they were all really good to me.
Nah, yeah, all good. Yeah,
Oh,
I own all three. I own all three of them. They weren't bad.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, no, this is the era of the reboot.
Yeah. And
That's
he
why.
actually, I think, owns like part of like Riddick, because way back when, I think they wanted him to be a part of Tokyo Drift, and like he said, he made a deal. He was like, "I'll do the cameo, but you got to give me rights to Riddick." And then I think that's what happened. So I can see why he's bringing back up now.
Gotcha. Yeah. And yeah, and like I said, this is the time to do it, right? This is the era of the reboot. They're always trying to remake shit and bring back old shit, and I don't know. I guess, I mean, it's partly because our generation, Stu, we are nostalgia hounds. Like we love nostalgia. Like we're always looking for it.
Oh yeah,
and
we're good for that nostalgia bit.
And speaking of nostalgia, CGC just announced that they're going to start grading VHS tapes. If you have them.
Oh boy, I have one. I do have one.
What is it?
It's I think it's Schoolhouse of Rock. I have that one on VHS. And then we had a Rugrats one too.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock. That should definitely be
like an old cartoon.
Yeah. Remember, I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill.
And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
I don't know the lyrics.
Yeah, I know the beginning part. The rest is a little.
Remember now? It had a nouns.
Yeah.
And nouns is a special kind of word. Is anything you've ever heard.
My favorite one is conjunction. Junction.
Conjunction. What's the function?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah. That one.
But yeah, I have that one on VHS in my room, and then there were some other ones, but those might be in the basement. But that's good. Okay, great.
CGC is going to start grading them. They said because of, like Reno said, because of the demand for vintage. Like, you got to understand something, man. Like there are certain things that should have never stopped. Like get me like cassette tapes. Why?
Yeah.
Like, why? Why would we stop making cassettes when a lot of artists in Europe are recording on cassettes? They said it's easier. You know, they can go back. They don't have to do all this, going back and doing the whole thing. They can start where they left off. Like they're saying it's just much easier. They like the format better. I mean, we could have improved on the format, but in America, we just totally got rid of it. Like let's just move on to CDs and digital media. Good.
I could see that making a resurgence, like vinyl. Like I could see cassette tapes coming back if they haven't already, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if it fits in aesthetic, yeah, it'll come back.
Yeah, they might come back as like a nostalgia, like a gimmick, or what do you call it, a novelty item.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to have tape decks, right? Cars are coming with CD players before now they're just coming with touchscreens for your MP3s, or whatever for your streaming. Cars don't even come. Like I think that's what it boiled down to was car manufacturers and shit like that, and radio, stereo manufacturers. Everything was a CD player. Now it's a whatever player. Digital.
I want the CD player.
But the sound quality of a tape is not as good as a digital or a CD.
Well, as far as I know right now, physically, there's no physical media that sounds better than CD. That's what I've read. That's what I know. But even records don't sound better than CDs. Like if you bought a physical, if you bought an album on every platform, basically, cassette, tape, record, CD sounds the best. It's the best sound.
Mm-hmm.
Always has.
Wow, that's a lot of sound coming from Sada's mic.
From me?
Yeah.
Oh snap! I didn't even realize this.
You hear it? You hear it when I mute it? It goes off. Now you don't hear it.
Yeah, it's a ghost in there. Ghost in there.
It's like you're inside the womb.
That's it. Doctor Strange outpost.
It's not doing it now.
Did you move it?
I moved, so maybe it's when I moved. Maybe that helped. I'll stay like this.
Maybe it was sitting on. Yeah. Or was it sitting on your stomach or something?
Yeah, it was like on my legs. So maybe that's what it was. And like I was covering the thing.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Sounded like something was on it. Barely use MP3 now. Most music seems to be streamed. Yeah, right. Everything is streamed.
Lito, I use my MP3 every day. I play no games.
Stu has a huge collection.
I still have one. I use it from time to time, but it has to take batteries. So I'm like, I don't really want to charge it.
Upgrade. Just upgrade to a Sony Walkman, and your life will get better.
Yeah, Sony Walkmans again.
They never stopped making them. They just made them digital. They made the MP3 player. So, and I have one.
Yeah, Sony Walkman was the shit.
Yeah. According to
Walkman came out, it changed the game.
It did. It really did. I mean, but you have people doing stupid stuff. Yeah, people getting hit by trains. They walking with them on. Because sound quality is so good, you put those headphones, you couldn't hear anything else.
Yeah.
People getting hit by trains and cars. I mean, but I'll tell you what, it was worth it because it was good.
Yeah, it was worth it.
So Miss Sada, Doctor Strange has outgrossed the first Doctor Strange.
I saw it.
Then,
with the first
Logan, Captain America: Winter Soldier, and Iron Man 2. It has outperformed all of those movies.
Who, Doctor Strange?
Wait, which movie?
Yes.
The second Doctor Strange?
The second Doctor Strange outperformed the first Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's not a
Logan,
surprise. But it's
Captain America: Winter Soldier, and the second Iron Man film.
But it ain't out. So
the second Iron Man, I get that. I'm surprised by Logan, but
only the ones I named. Only the ones I named is the ones that it outperformed.
I'm surprised by Logan, but I understand because Logan didn't have as much marketing behind it. Not nearly as much, especially because it was rated R.
Right.
Think so?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't pumped like
it wasn't pumped like Doctor Strange. The second one, no way.
Not the second close. Iron Man though, I'm kind of surprised because that was the good one. Like
really, I thought that was
3 was the 3 was the one that was kind of like
Yeah, I thought 3 was bad. 2 was main.
Because 3 they tried to tell 2 different stories. Mixing
it was
the Extremists and
the Extremists.
You should have just did Extremists. Left it at that and kept it moving.
And then it tried to do the Mandarin, but then pulled that out. Like it was a fake Mandarin for what? For what? There was no fucking reason to do that.
I know people. I know people that was so mad about the Mandarin. like this is no joke. I know people that literally took it personal.
Oh,
like if they could have fired a rocket at Disney Studios and Marvel Studios, they would have did it. I mean, they were upset. Yeah, it was people that was truly upset about the way that whole situation.
Black Bolt fans now.
Yeah, I think the way he went out was pretty ingenious, but I mean, it was kind of quick. Like
it was genius, but at the same time, it was absurd because Mr. Fantastic would have never done that. Like, let me tell you how to kill him real quick.
Yeah,
he would have never.
Yeah, you're right. But I feel like it's
he would have never gave her a warning. He would just never like Black Bolt. He'd be like Black Bolt, get her.
Yeah,
like straight up, like he'd just be like Black Bolt, get her.
Or he
like,
said, I got a meme that says, they're standing there and it's Professor X or Professor Miss Fantastic and Black Bolt, and he says, "Hey Wanda, Black Bolt knows how to get your kids back. Black Bolt, tell her." That's it.
That actually would have been really creative if they did it like that. And then he just like did a, and then blew her back, and then she did the closed his mouth and he blew his own brains out. Like that I think that would have been
Oh, but you got to think the movie with it. We got to stretch the movie out because it's like it's like putting African American people in a horror movie. The movie gonna be 5 minutes long. Because as soon as it go down,
Jordan Peele,
they out of there. Yeah, they out of there. They be like, all right, look, we gone. Like, look, we ain't sticking around. We gotta go. I had something to do anyway. I'm out of here.
Yeah, they did have to stretch it out.
Jordan Peele would differ with you on that.
Mr. Fantastic, he went like this, and then she killed him. I'm like, dude, what did you expect? But they're gonna come back in some capacity. At least I hope so. So I'm not too bent out of shape right now.
Well, it's like I tell people, that was not the 616 Illuminati. That wasn't our Illuminati. That was just a disposable Illuminati.
Yeah. So I'm okay with it. I mean, if they had stayed just a little bit longer, but it's fine. That whole fight scene was pretty great, anyways. Ooh.
Yeah, it was. It was great. It was great. It was just not very representative of the Illuminati as characters.
Yeah.
But like I said, they were just an 838 or 833 Illuminati, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So they didn't count.
When they gave Peggy Steve's line, I was like, oh, why did you do that? I could do this all day. And then you get cut in half right afterwards. Like,
yeah,
that was gross. Oh, no.
I was like,
no. And then Miss Marvel, I think it was just the acting for me with her. Like, she would say certain lines and then they would do like a weird zoom in and it would just make it so cringy. Like when she said, get out of my universe. And then they did the zoom in. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. Her whole character was cringy. She was super cringy.
Yeah, she was
the way she was super corny, dude. It was like,
I think they could have just put Namor in there for all that. They could have just taken her out.
That's what they should have done. I mean, Namor is the part of the Illuminati. She's not. That just didn't make sense why they replaced Namor and all of them characters, man. But I do got to recommend, guys, if you're interested in seeing about the Illuminati, what they're really like, how they really roll and all of that, I would say read Hickman's New Avengers, Jonathan Hickman's Avengers. Go check that out. They mentioned the incursions in the movie, Doctor Strange movie, about the universes crashing into each other, and that's what that whole comics is. What it's from. It's from Jonathan Hickman's Avengers, and the incursions and all that. So it's phenomenal fucking story, amazing. I think Strange kind of hinted at the Fantastic Four existing when he said, "I thought the Fantastic Four died in the 60s."
He said that? Damn, I missed that. I missed that. I didn't know he said that. That's crazy.
And they do. They have other plans for Namor. They didn't want to. And I get that they didn't want to reveal him now, especially and get killed.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I just feel like Miss Marvel, she really didn't need to be there.
Yeah. And what Miss Marvel was she? Is like, wait a minute, who are you supposed to be? Oh, okay. She's like that version of Carol Danvers.
I guess. I don't know.
Or was it Monica Rambeau? I don't know.
I know, like, was it relation? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the most powerful mutant is bringing cosmic war to the X-Men in the comics right now. That the unbridled rage of Vulcan, one of Marvel's most powerful and dangerous mutants, will bring a cosmic war to the X-Men's doorstep. And this is it's going to be in I guess it already happened. It's X-Men Red #1, and it is a great read. Gotta recommend that as well. The new X-Men Red. I think they're on X-Men Red #2 now, but yeah, #1 Vulcan. So if anybody read War of Realms, or if you haven't read War of Realms, read War of Realms. Super good, and Vulcan is one of the main characters. But it's all about a space It's like if you like that cosmic Marvel shit, the outer space stuff, definitely want to read that. And X-Men Red is super good. That shit is just coming out right now. So definitely check that out. And the Shi'ar, yeah, the Shi'ar.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need we need that. You got
Especially if you're gonna bring in the mutants. If you're gonna bring in the mutants, you definitely need that.
Yeah, Lilandra and Professor X were like a couple at one point. And she was the head of the Shi'ar Empire. The Shi'ar Empire is super powerful, and they're like bird people. And then what's cool about the Shi'ar Empire, you have other alien races like the Skrulls, or what's the other one?
Well, and
the other kind of alien. There's three main aliens in Marvel. You got the Kree. So you got the Kree, the
Skrull,
and the Shi'ar.
Yeah,
and the
Shi'ar. Kree and the Skrull. With the Kree and the Skrull, it's a race. It's a planet. They're a type of being. Like the Skrull is a race of alien.
Yeah.
The Kree is a race of alien. The Shi'ar is like a federation of races. It's like their whole galaxy, the whole kingdom. It's like they're a kingdom. There are the sort of originals, which are like these sort of bird-like avian type humanoids. But the Shi'ar Empire, unlike the Kree and the Skrull, aren't just a race. Like when you say Shi'ar, you don't know what they're gonna look like. You don't know what kind of alien they're gonna be. With the Kree and with the Skrull, you know exactly what kind of alien they are.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the original Guardians of the Galaxy, it wasn't Star-Lord or none of them. It was Yondu and some other characters. It wasn't Groot, Star-Lord,
and the
original Guardians of the Galaxy. No, it was Yondu wasn't even a Ravager. He was a Guardian. He was the original Guardian of the Galaxy.
That's Mohawk too.
Yeah, he had a super big Mohawk. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they were they've been around a while. They've been around a long time.
Yeah.
Their original lineup, I wonder if that's gonna be on Google. Yeah, the 1969 team. It's definitely not the group that we know, but they first appeared in Marvel Superheroes number 18. The initial roster was Vance Astro, Martinex Tanaga, Captain Charlie 27, and Yondu Udanta. Later members included Stakar Ogord, Alita Ogord, and Nikki. So the members that we know of came much later.
Those are MCU members, but not the original. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
because Yondu wasn't even a Ravager. He wasn't even a Ravager. He was, like I said, he was a Guardian of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So,
and Vance Astro was also called Major Victory, and he's a superhero, appeared in American comic books. What the fuck, Marvel? I know that. The character usually depicted as being the Earth 691 timeline versus the 616. But he also appeared as one of the founding members of the Guardians. But he looks like Captain America. Well, he has Captain America's kind of shield, but then he's like blue and white.
no.
Yeah.
You know what I forgot? You know what I forgot to mention? Did you ever see Tremors?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Fred Ward passed away, man.
Nah, who was he?
He was the dude. He was the main character, the older guy.
The main character I thought was Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward. The other guy that was with Kevin Bacon was Fred Ward, the older guy.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, I know him.
He played. Matter of fact, he played in the stuff.
Yeah, he's been in a bunch of shit.
Yeah. He was 79. I don't know what he passed away from. But I was reading about it the other day, and I was like, Fred Ward, because I had just watched a blooper from Tremors that made the movie. It was like improvised when Kevin Bacon was nailing when they were putting up the fence and he was hitting the nail and he kept missing it. That was actually real. Like that was actually real. Like he couldn't hit the nail. Like and the joke that Fred Ward made, they kept it in the film. It was like improvised. So they just like let's just leave it. But he literally couldn't hit the nail like on the head the first time. So it took him like 3 or 4 times. So when you watch the movie and you see Kevin Bacon like that's real. Like that's him really trying to hit it and he can't hit it.
Bro, Fred Ward has done so many movies, dog. Like he's been in movies since 1973.
Oof.
He was in what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He was in Incredible Hulk in 1979.
Yes, he was.
Escape from Alcatraz. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. Dude, there's got to be another 30 movies. He's well over 100 movies. That's crazy. Whew. Joe Dirt. Probably seen him in Joe Dirt. True Detective, which is a dope show on HBO. Yeah, bro. Dang, he just died like 8 days ago too.
Yeah, I read it. I read it like maybe 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn, bro. Like, I was like, man, bro. Like, and like I said, it came up on my Google feed after I watched a snippet about. It was a blooper. It's this thing I watch on YouTube where it was. I think it's called Explain. I bet you didn't know this. It's just called I bet you didn't know this. And then they show different clips from movies and things like that. And one of the clips they showed was Kevin Bacon trying to hammer the nail. And I was like, yeah, I remember that scene. I thought it was acted out, but they were saying no, it was real, and they just improvised it and they shot it and they kept it in the movie because it was so funny. So it's really not an acted out scene.
That's funny.
It's really a real thing that he couldn't hit the nail.
That's funny. That's funny shit. Yeah, man. Star-Lord, speaking of Guardians, Star-Lord's going to be in Love and Thunder and Guardians 3. But apparently he's going to be a little bit different in those movies. Let's see. He may have been dusted into oblivion for 5 years, but Star-Lord is now back with a vengeance after reappearing in Avengers Endgame along with his fellow Guardians of the Galaxy. The pop music obsessed Terran will be seen in both this summer's Thor: Love and Thunder as well as next summer's Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And knowing that the actor behind the role, Chris Pratt, can't say anything about those films specifically, we decided on a different approach. Speaking on the occasion of his next movie, Jurassic World Dominion, out June 10th, IO9 asked Pratt how Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, is different in the next 2 movies we will see him in. Well, there's James Gunn's Peter Quill, and then there's the Peter Quill that has existed outside of James Gunn, which is in cameos in the Avengers and now Thor: Love and Thunder, Pratt said. And so truly the Peter Quill that I do when James Gunn is in charge is an extension of him, and the Peter Quill that I do when it's not him in charge is really kind of me let loose to do a little bit more than I probably would than he would want me to do in some way. So I guess the difference would be that James Gunn has a focus for Quill that isn't on for Thor for Pratt continued. He said, and so we'll see how that plays out when it comes out. I mean, we're obviously dealing with the end of Avengers and where that left off with the Guardians and Thor, and we'll see that sort of how that sort of transition works to set up the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Yeah, transition is a key word there because the upcoming release of Jurassic World Dominion is almost simultaneous with the completion of principal photography on Guardians 3. And that means that Chris Pratt is ending two huge franchises that have so far defined his career, and at almost the same exact time. And he said it does feel like, yeah, it is naturally going to be a transition, he said.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a huge change, especially because they're ending so close together.
Right. Yeah, exactly. He said I did he said I did a limited series on Amazon called The Terminal List last year. That was kind of like the beginning of this sort of transition to something different, something new. I'm excited. I mean, when you're an actor, there's just a cloud of uncertainty around your life, the roles that you'll be offered. And I feel as though that cloud is coming back in a way. And it really gets me excited because I really don't know what to do next. That is a pretty awesome feeling than I haven't felt for the past probably 8 or 9 years, because I've had those sequels kind of back to back and booked up. So I'm curious, and maybe I don't know, maybe it's comedy, or maybe I don't know what it is. I don't know what to expect, but I'm ready for it. We're ready for it too.
Yeah, we are. I'm definitely ready for it.
Yeah. And as well as all those movies that he has coming out in the meantime, Jurassic World Dominion opens June 10th. Thor: Love and Thunder is July 8th, and then Guardians will be out May 5th of next year.
Don't forget Jurassic Park.
That's what I said was Jurassic is June 10th. That's the one where I said Jurassic World Dominion opens June 10th.
Oh, Dominion, okay. Yeah,
Dominion.
Yeah, that's the final one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad. I mean, even though I like the Jurassic movies, it's just time to dead that, because I mean, it really stretching it out.
My dad,
what else? Yeah, it's they stretching it, man. They really pushing it up. Yeah, Marshall Gore and
my dad was like, "What's the point? There's dinosaurs running on the street. Like, it's time for it to end."
Right. Yeah, we're to the point now where the dinosaurs are now in the real world. They got off the island, however, and yeah, what else can you do after this? I mean,
right.
At this point, it's Godzilla, right? We're gonna get in,
right, because you'd have people like, "Don't hurt the dinosaurs, just don't hurt them." But the dinosaurs are literally just eating everybody they come across.
Yeah, don't hurt the dinosaurs. Get bit in half. Some cool scenes though in the trailer, like some of those ocean scenes with the giant dinosaurs in the ocean. That shit looks
that was great.
Yeah, bro.
When like he was driving away from him on the street, that looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I kind of like Stu though. Like the last few, I didn't even see for like probably years after they came out. Like I just wasn't interested after the first like two, but I eventually did see them, and they're actually not bad. The Chris Pratt ones are actually not bad.
No,
the last one the last one was kind of crazy, like where they actually releasing all the dinosaurs. I guess that led to this one. It was kind of like over the top.
Because when they brought them back, they were trying to save them, and one of the ways they just let them all go. Next thing you know, they're running through the forest, and at the end of the movie, they show one of the dinosaurs just overlooking the town, and you're like, "Oh man, it's going down."
Yeah.
So
and that giant crocodile looking motherfucker that came up out of the sea and grabbed that shit. Right. That shit's scary, bro. That shit's scary. Them giant sea monster motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Just imagine being in a little dinghy and shit out in the middle of the ocean. Ugh.
Hey, listen. I don't know what I would do. I mean, think about it. You going out to get the paper in the morning. You get out there. You go to pick up the newspaper, Reno, and there's a dinosaur looking at you, licking his lips, like, well, damn. I didn't have to run into breakfast. Breakfast ran into me. Like, what's going down? You know, like, bro, that's, you know what I mean? That's kind of.
What are we talking about? My man wrote.
Kapla.
No idea.
What are we doing? You just typing on the keyboard? Just flying around? But I don't know. I'm interested. You've sparked my interest. You got me.
Right.
Yeah. Give us an explanation.
Yeah. Tell me what this means.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it is almost 9:00, and I gotta eat, and I still didn't finish my sandwich, and still I think you got to get to work.
I'm off tonight, sir.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah, I'm off tonight. So we're we're doing what we got to do tonight.
That's right.
That's
right. Oh,
but
real quick before we bail, have you guys heard about the Sandman movie or the Sandman series?
What?
Yes, I keep hearing about it. Yeah, but listen, I'm ashamed to say it. I don't know much about Sandman. I've heard of Sandman. I've seen the comics. I've seen other little things, but I've never got into it. Like I mean, I know a lot of people like it, and people talk about like it's like a big thing, but I've never gotten into it.
I never got into the comics, but I did do a what do you call it? An audiobook. I read I listened to one of the audiobooks, and like the first one that's like the beginning of the story. And man, like that shit is deep, bro. That shit is deep. That's why that's why it's such a cult following. Like it's a deep cult following with with Sandman is a deep cult following because it's so deep. And excuse me. This is a picture of Gwendolyn Christie, who you guys might know from Game of Thrones, or Captain Phasma from Star Wars, the big woman, and she is playing Lucifer, the devil himself, in Sandman. Fans of the Neil Gaiman's Sandman series have been waiting for a live action adaptation of the critically acclaimed comics for multiple decades. It's been out. Like this has been in the making since the 90s. But they can hopefully take some solace in this. If there had been a Sandman movie in the 90s or a Sandman TV show in the 2000s, no, it wouldn't have been that good. It's just like superhero movies. Like that's why, anytime people bash any of these new Marvel or DC movies, I still got to be like, you know what though, the shit we had in the 80s and 90s, like this is leaps and bounds better. Even the worst ones are better. So I'm glad we live in a time where they're actually putting our shit on the live action. You know what I mean?
I have to agree with that. Yeah. I definitely have to agree with that, man. I mean, because we were kids, man. We always wanted live action superhero movies, and they just, I mean, they just didn't make them. They and the ones they did make, they were okay, but they kind of suck.
Well, but it's like Star Wars.
We liked them because that's all we had.
Remember how? Okay, so the prequels, right? The prequel movies. He couldn't make those movies in the 70s and 80s because they didn't have the technology. They didn't have CGI, and he couldn't do any of that shit with puppets. Like think about it, all the Clone War, the Gungans, and all of the like everything that was in those movies. He needed to wait for the technology, he said, to make those movies. So it's the same thing with superhero movies. Like we could have got those movies back in the day, but they would have been shit. And that's what that's what's so good about the times
except
we live
in. Except for the first two Superman movies, they were okay. They weren't bad. All right. It wasn't bad. Superman 2 still ranks as one of the best superhero movies ever.
Yeah, but look at it though. Look at the special effects. Like, look at how it looks. Like, it doesn't compare. It's cool. It was cool back then. We didn't see it the way. Like, if you watch it now, you'll see shit you didn't see back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like back then, we didn't see the fucked up, the fake green screen or whatever it was. We didn't see that shit. We were kids. We saw past that. We just saw what they were trying to show us. But now we actually get to actually see that shit for real. It's the same thing like with video games. Like video games, we had the little sprite characters, and now we get to really see how they really look. You know what I mean? Like instead of being just the little chibis, the little what do you call
little
them?
Pixel, the little
Yeah.
the little polygons, the stretched out polygons. They
I can
did some
agree with
amazing
that.
things with polygons. Yeah.
I always be like appreciative of like what is on screen now. I'll always be critical, but I'll always be appreciative of like how far we've come. Like just seeing Black Bolt and Mr. Fantastic on screen, like so fucking cool. Like and just even we saw their powers for just a half a second, but we've come so far, and it's so dope. It's like, oh my god.
Yes, exactly. And this is Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer and Sandman, but yeah, I mean she's supposed to. Sorry, she's she's looking like a cherubish. You know, she's right down to the blonde curls and the Renaissance painting type. You know, cherubs from the Renaissance era. You know, it's Lucifer. She looks just like Satan to me. And I'm actually not trying to do my to the village. I'm trying to read what she said here. Be terrific. Yeah, I mean, come on, right? She's perfect, right down to the cherubic blonde Renaissance painting type curls. In addition to a few other Lucifer-less stills from the show, Netflix also released some footage of Christie in satanic action. Just unfortunately wrapped up in an incredibly grating Geeked Week preview trailer that seems to think it's necessary to tell people actually geeks are good now in the year of our Lord 2022. Feel free to just skip 2 minutes in the video and drip into. I should probably mention there's some accompanying footage of Sandman star. But yeah, I think this is gonna be dope, and I think this starts like 2 days after my birthday. You can wait till you can wait till Geeked Week, Netflix's live virtual fan fest, which begins in earnest on June 6th, when the streamer will inevitably be releasing a great deal more Sandman footage, as well as the show's release date, most likely. So, because we don't know exactly when the show is going to come out, but at least now we know they're definitely filming it. There's definite footage of them filming it. So we have proof there is going to be a Sandman show. I want to see Flash and Aquaman. Oh, the movies.
Don't we all?
yeah, we all do.
We might, at the rate it's going, we might not get to see Flash and Aquaman.
I don't think we're going to.
Really might not. I mean, yeah, but I really, I want to see Flashpoint. You know, the cartoon movie that they made. I would love to see a live action version of that. The Flash isn't gonna be exactly that though, and I'm afraid they're gonna try to do an Iron Man 3 thing where they're gonna be mixing two completely different stories, like Extremis and Mandarin. They're gonna be mixing Flashpoint and whatever other Flash origin or whatever. So
yeah, because he's barely established, so I feel like they might go that direction just because we've only seen him once before this movie.
How is he gonna have? How is he gonna have already pissed off Eobard Thawne?
If he's even gonna be,
you know what I mean?
Like yeah,
right. Yeah, so it's got to be different because like if he's there, then he has to have pissed him off. It has to be. They have to have done that already, and like you said, there's no background to this guy right now.
No. Reverse Flash would be a good way to go. It'd be a very good way to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because that first season of CW's Flash, those first 2 seasons, they were great.
Oh my, so great. Yeah, even when they brought in Zoom, even though that was a little bit of a rehash, it was good. So
it was still good, yeah. So I can't complain. I gotta take my hats off to the CW for that.
Definitely, and that's that's I mean, DC just doesn't do live action well. But when they do, it's dope. It's really dope. Like that CW when they got lucky and they DCU, the movies, the films version of Flash, I was never a fan of because he's supposed to be Barry Allen, but he's like the opposite of Barry Allen. He doesn't act like Barry
Every
Allen.
time they try to put Wally West personality into Barry Allen, just give us Wally West. Like I don't understand. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Wally West is more like a mix between Batman and Superman. He's like the Boy Scout detective. Square. You know, he's to me he's the best iteration of Flash.
Yeah, Wally. Yeah, well, a lot of people love Wally. They like him the most. A lot of people. He's also the fastest. By the way, yeah, Wally's also the fastest of the Flashes. Me too, Marshall. Me too.
Wolverine, yeah.
And Batman,
I think you'd be pegged. I think you'd be hard pegged to find anybody that's not a big Wolverine fan.
I'm surprised actually. They're, like you hear Spider-Man the most. But yeah, then Wolverine's definitely second. Probably Hulk is probably third. Yeah, speaking of Hulk, I was reading Pete Rock was on your uncle Sada was on Twitter today, wilding out. They Cannabis, Cannabis put out the single, and on the cover art or whatever it says produced by Pete Rock, and he was like going off like I didn't make that shit. That shit's corny. Like Cannabis sounds like trash on it. Like I didn't do it. And then
the produced by Pete Rock single that Cannabis put out.
Yeah, Cannabis.
I don't know why he don't just hook up. I don't know why he don't just hook up with Pete Rock and do something. I mean,
well, I guess they did. It was that Pete Rock didn't like what they paid him or something, and he didn't authorize them to put it out or some shit. I didn't read the details and everything, but because I was driving at the time when I seen it, my son showed it to me. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, it was funny though. Weapon X, first comic book I seen as of Wolverine as Weapon X smoking a cigar. I used to love to read the X-Men novels. The X-Men novels, there is books. There's actually books, and they've got them now on audible.com, which I always recommend to people to go to audible.com, man, and check out the audiobooks, man. They have like everything, bro. And I was surprised to see that there are actually X-Men novels. No pictures, just books, just novels. There's all kinds of Marvel novels. I didn't know that they did that because, I just only thought it was only comics, literature-wise. But no, there's actually books. There's just like there's Star Wars books, there's Marvel books. I got Thanos book called Death Sentence. I got a Marvel X-Men book. They got X-Men Days of Future Past novel, which is dope. They made the movie based on that one. Yeah, but yeah. Star Wars Brotherhood. I ain't seen this one. Speaking of Star Wars, they've got the new Jedi Fallen Order sequel is going to be called Survivor. Jedi Survivor. The release date was leaked. Information yesterday. Sequel to Star Wars Fallen Order is not called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2, but Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Fast forward now, a new report claims the game is releasing sometime between February 2023 and March 2023, right before EA's fiscal year ends. Of course, this is a completely different window from the first game, which was released in November. If true, it is interesting EA is abandoning the holiday window, especially after having so much success releasing the first game during. What this suggests, though, is that EA wants to get it out before the fiscal year ends at the end of March. So this could be problematic. It's quite possible that the game was supposed to ship holiday 2022, as many rumors suggested. Just about every game has suffered some sort of delay due to the pandemic, its economical side effects, and the shift to working from home. And it burdened many teams with. In other words, a release in the first quarter of 2023 could represent a slip from holiday 2022. This is the good scenario. The bad scenario is the game being rushed out the door to the release to release by the fiscal year. As you may know, EA is infamous for doing this to several major releases. They rush the game out because they want to get it out by some date, and they put it out incomplete.
They expect you to pay for it.
Yeah, we pay full price, don't we, Stu? $60 damn.
Always.
No.
Every damn dime. Every dime.
Pay $60 for an unfinished game.
It has happened. It's happened in the past. No Man's Sky was an unfinished game. Put it out.
No Man's Sky.
Everybody could.
Oh my God! No Man's Sky was just a hot mess.
Yeah, it was supposed to be epic. It's like fucking what's Cyberpunk.
Now
that was supposed to be phenomenal. That was supposed to be the game, the next new gen game. Like that was supposed to change the game.
Yeah.
And you got wieners hanging out. It's just crazy.
It was.
Yeah, the character So when you make your character, you can decide, how they look and everything and what clothes they wear and all of that. But when you don't have no clothes on him, he's butt ass naked, and you can literally change the size of his wiener. And if you make made it too big, it would come out of the graphics of his pants and just be swinging during the game. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? That's something they should have figured. But former lighting artist claims developers lobbied for a different protagonist design. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order development wanted a black female protagonist, but were shot down, and they got the ginger white boy that we got. A former Respawn developer has revealed the staff originally wanted the protagonist of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order to be black or a woman. In a Twitter post on May 10th, former Respawn lighting artist Nora Shermek claimed developers of Star Wars Fallen Order advocated for the game's protagonist to be black and or a woman. However, the former Respawn dev reveals the group met resistance when asking for this, and the idea was ultimately shot down. It's not entirely clear from Shermek's tweets who exactly Respawn shot down the proposal, but the dev hints that it wasn't just one person opposing the idea. Sharmek says the people opposed to making Fallen Order's protagonist black and or woman believed they didn't need to, since the game already featured 2 black characters. Additionally, Rey being a female protagonist of the new Star Wars sequel trilogy factored into the idea being shot down. Sharmek gives some valuable insight into how Jedi Fallen Order protagonists ultimately came to be and sort of protagonists we could have used instead if those in the studio had got their way. As it turned out, Cal Kestis became the protagonist of the game, and the game follows Cal in the aftermath of Order 66 as the Jedi are hunted down around the galaxy and he's forced into hiding. Cal was generally viewed as a bit of a bland protagonist back when Fallen Order launched in 2019, and that's even more of a shame considering what we could have had instead.
It's true. This is true.
Yeah.
Well, remember when they did Finn in Star Wars? People was upset about Finn, and I think that might have been what it stemmed from. Because when you saw that first trailer for these new Star Wars movies, that was the first character we saw.
Yeah,
we didn't see him.
And they marketed it as if he was gonna be the main character.
The main character, yeah.
And he wasn't. He ended up being sort of phased out. Yeah, by the third
from
movie.
The reviews I saw for that film, they did him real dirty.
They did. Very dirty.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, but
you can thank Kathleen Kennedy for that.
thank Karen Kennedy for that.
Thank her for that.
Yeah,
Thank her for that.
We don't like her. Yeah, Nora Borea or Nora Shemrick said, when I worked for Star Wars Fallen Order, a lot of devs wanted and advocated for the main character to be black and or a woman. Reasons for no: we already have 2 black people in the game. Rey is a woman, and we can't do that. To guess what the demographic of the people making those decisions looks like. Probably white males. Yeah, I mean, I don't put it past them. I believe her 100%.
I do too. But it's the way of the world, man. That's what they want. And like you said, think of what we could have got.
Yeah.
And they just, you know.
Imagine how dope that game would have been if they had a black protagonist that was actually not fucking boring. I mean, Cal is boring, dude. I know a lot of people love him, but he's boring. And I'm not a super big fan of that actor either, personally. He's all right. I'm not a super fan of him.
He's all right. He's not as memorable as Luke, Vader, Mace Windu, Yoda, Clo Poon. Clo Poon. He's just not as memorable as Boba Fett.
Yeah, it's like they made the action figure for that character, and I don't want it. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look cool on the shelf. I don't see him as a cool character. His character is the only thing I don't like about that game, and it almost made me not play the game. Like, I almost just didn't care to play it because he just didn't seem like a fun character to be.
I think the double lightsaber is what did it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because when you think of double lightsaber, you want to see Darth Maul. He was the first one we saw with a double lightsaber. And nobody else that has it, it just didn't resonate like it did with him.
Right. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it just didn't resonate. So maybe on the next one, you'll do better.
You can hope.
Yeah, Marshall Gordon's going wild in the chat.
What's he saying?
People built PSCs for Cyberpunk when it came out. Women programmed the game. Who's your favorite porno star? Diamond Jackson. I'm obsessed with Diamond Jackson. What the fuck? I really don't like Star Wars stuff. I like Naruto. But I did love Nintendo 64 Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
Marshall,
yeah, that was a good game.
The Rogue Squadron was good. They need to come out with another one of those. That was real good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is 9:15. I do have to go, guys. You guys want to still rock out? I gotta go.
Now let's call it.
We can end it.
All right, guys. Yeah, this was our show, gentlemen and ladies. We are Sixth Element Comics, Sixth Element of Hip Hop, rather, and you can find me on Instagram under Sixth Element Comics. And definitely check us out Wednesday because we're gonna be talking about Obi-Wan, Star Wars, all that good shit. Because Obi-Wan was supposed to come out Wednesday, but instead it's coming out Friday. But that's okay. We're gonna talk about it anyway, and we got a lot of Star Wars shit to cover on Wednesday, and then of course we'll be back Saturday for DC Power Hour, always here on YouTube at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please leave a comment in the comment section after your show, and shout out to Panda. This is the best comic podcast.
Panda chop.
Panda's in the building. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all Wednesday. Peace.